Amazon FBA isn't just a business opportunity, it is literally a video game. And just like any game, once you understand all the cheat codes, you can win almost every time. Now I've generated over £500,000 in profit from Amazon FBA, and I've helped my mentorship student earn millions, including Sam, who has made over £62,000 in profit in a single month. Now to me it just seems easy, but every day I see people failing at this game because they're playing it completely wrong. They're essentially jumping into a game of COD with a pistol whilst everyone else has an AK-47. It's just, you know, it's not going to end well for them. In this video, I'm going to be showing you exactly how to beat the Amazon FBA game in 2025, providing you with the ultimate strategy guide and cheat codes that help me generate over £30,000 in profit every month. By the end of this video, you're going to be able to speed run Amazon FBA and level up way quicker than you could have ever imagined. Level 1, sourcing techniques. Most players get eliminated here because they're spending hours manually sourcing without a proper strategy. The biggest mistake that I see new sellers making when they're first starting out with Amazon FBA is just manually searching a whole site just one by one. You know, it's like trying to find loot without a proper treasure map. It's just going to be so tricky to actually find a good deal with that way. And you know, sure, you might get lucky and stumble across something good, but it may have taken you hours and hours to get there. Now here's how I dominate this level. So I want to be doing, you know, structured sourcing methods that have a little bit more to it, such as storefront sourcing. This can be one of the best ways to source as a beginner because it's just simple, it's easy. You're cutting down the amount of time you're having to source. You're just looking through a tried and tested list of products from your competitor and trying to find places that sell those products. You know that all of these products likely sell well and they're already being sourced by other Amazon arbitrage sellers, so there's a pretty good chance that you're going to be able to find them on another retail store somewhere on the internet. You can also use software like Storefront Bot. Should be a QR code on screen now to go check them out. That will just automate the whole sourcing routine and make it way easier, way more efficient to actually find some good deals. And that'll allow you to track hundreds of different stores rather than just kind of manually searching a few yourself. Now manual sourcing can actually be good, you know, it's not as bad as I kind of made it out to be in the first couple seconds of the video. It's okay, but you have to have a bit of strategy to it. You know, it's right that you can't just go on one site and just check every single product and hope you're going to find a deal. It's going to be extremely unlikely you will find something. You have to have a bit of strategy about it, such as looking at promotions, looking at sales, making use of coupon codes or even discounts. Like if you can get your hands on a blue light card, like an NHS discount, that's going to be a game changer for you. If you're also a uni student like myself, actually I'm still technically a student, I still have my uni days account and my student beans account, so I also make use of that, and that's allowed me to source a lot more products because I just get stuff a little bit cheaper than everyone else. All of those sort of things give you a little bit of a competitive edge over any other Amazon seller. Now in terms of your minimum ROI, I would say as a beginner you don't want to be going any lower than 25% minimum ROI. The reason being is that yeah, you might be able to make some profit at a lower margin, but overall your costs of software and returns and stuff like that are going to slowly eat into your profits. And if you do scale up to the point where I'm at, where I'm VAT registered and I've got to pay for prep fees and all these other additional costs that come with scaling up, like hiring staff and stuff like that, if you just get used to sourcing like a really low margin when you first start out, it's going to be really tricky for you to scale, because as you scale and those other costs increase, you're just not making enough money to really pay for those and actually scale. So it's yeah, well worth just getting used to sourcing 25% minimum when you start out. And then as you scale, you can kind of drop your ROI a little bit when you've got those extra fees, but you're only dropping it because of those extra fees, not because you're just looking at worse deals. Now sourcing is really, really hard, right? But you can't give up on level 1. This is the hardest part of Amazon. Everything else in comparison, it gets kind of easy, you know. Actually finding the products to sell at a profitable price is obviously where the kind of secret sauce is. It's how I have my own secret methods, because that's what allows me to kind of differentiate myself from other sellers and find those things that no one else is really finding. So you just want to be consistent, you know, you want to kind of just stay determined, source every single day until you understand it. Don't just stick to one method either. Don't just stick to storefronting, or don't just stick to manual. You know, try other methods. There's also like Keep a Product Finder, which you can play about with. There's also just more detail in other YouTube videos I've made about sourcing, so go check those out. And yeah, just try your hand at a bunch of different methods and don't get too stuck into one individual thing. The main thing is that you just don't give up at that stage, because if you give up at level 1, you're never going to get to the top and you're never going to finish the game. Level 2, deal analysis. Now this level is all about knowing which items to pick up and which items just to kind of ignore and walk away from. Not all loot is worth picking up. You know, if you're playing Fortnite and you've got some common pistol and you've already got a nice looking loadout, or maybe you've only got one space left in your inventory, you're not going to go picking up some inferior weapon. You're going to want to wait out for the good stuff. Especially when you're starting out, you likely don't have just an unlimited budget for new inventory, so you want to be spending wisely and just buying the best of the best, the highest margin, fastest selling stock, and ignoring the stuff that is overall just going to be a bit of a waste of time and money. Now, the winning strategy in the battle royale that is Amazon FBA is you want to be checking the sales rank on products like it's your enemy's health bar. You want to be checking that they are, a low enough percentage. You want to be looking for the sales ranks that are as low as possible to indicate that they're a fast selling product. You want to also be checking the buy box and the offer count. You want to be in the matches that you can actually win. If there's 30, 40 other sellers on a listing that only sells 10 units a month, stay well clear, because there is way too much competition for you and you're going to get eliminated in the first round and end up just making a loss. You also want to be analyzing the price history with Seller Amp and Keeper. Just like many will study the plays of other people that are really good at video games, you want to be looking at the history of that listing and checking out what price it has been selling at in the past. See if there's any dips in the last 3 months that would mean you'd have to sell it at a loss. In general, if I'm looking at the last 3 months of pricing history and there's been any points at all where I'm making a loss, I'm probably going to want to avoid it. As long as I'm at least breaking even on all that price history, even if there's been a fairly recent jump, I'll usually try and gamble and try and, capitalize on that peak in price. But the more stable the price history and the more time it stays in the profitable realm, the more likely it's going to be a good deal. Now, that is just a very rough recap on deal analysis. I've done quite a few videos now on the details of deal analysis, so go check out my other videos, and there will be some really long ones that go into it in much more detail, where I'm breaking down step by step all the different points for kind of what I look at when I'm analyzing a listing. Level 3, prep. Now, getting your inventory into Amazon and checked in and made available to the customer as quick as possible is super important. Prep is basically the name that us Amazon sellers give to the art of sticking labels on products, boxing it up, sealing the box, and sending it off in a big box to Amazon's warehouse for them to then sort it, send it to the customer, and handle all the other logistics side of things. Now, being quick is super important, because with arbitrage, you are capitalizing on the difference in prices between Amazon and other websites. And the tide can change just as quickly as it became profitable. You want to be just sending your products in as quick as possible and capitalizing on that higher price on Amazon before it might start to take a dip. It's not really feasible for you to buy an item and just wait weeks and weeks or months and months to send it in, because by that time, who knows what could happen. The price could have changed, there could be way more competition, it could have just kind of completely stopped selling if it's like a super seasonal item. It's March right now, and I was talking to someone earlier today that has a huge amount of advent calendars, and yeah, not the best time of year to be holding a lot of advent calendars. Now, when you first start, you're likely going to be handling all of the prep yourself, so you're going to be that guy that's sticking on the labels and doing all that good stuff. It's just like playing solo mode, really. You're just kind of doing everything yourself, and yeah, just relying on yourself, really, which is fine in the beginning. You want to be keeping your costs as low as possible and doing everything yourself when it's manageable. But as you level up with Amazon FBA, you're going to be unlocking the multiplayer mode where you have other people doing stuff for you. And in relation to prep, that's using a prep center. So I use a wonderful prep center called All Things Prep. I'll try put a QR code on screen now to go check out their website. They just charge you per unit, so you pay about 50p per unit that they box up for you, and they do everything. They'll accept the parcel from the courier, they'll stick the labels on it to you, they'll send it to Amazon, and you will never even really have to see that product. Now, the advantage is, obviously, it's hugely time saving. Prep is really time consuming. I mean, when I first started out and I was doing all the prep myself, I kid you not, there was about a month where I spent pretty much every day, all day, just prepping items. And in fact, my sales started to dip a little bit because I was spending so much time prepping this stock, I didn't have enough time to buy more stock. And this becomes a real problem, if you're spending hours and hours just labeling items, doing these menial tasks, it's not a good use of your time. You could spend that same amount of time sourcing products and buying new inventory, and that's actually going to make you money much faster than the prep is. So definitely, when you're first starting out, prep yourself, keep your costs low, but as soon as you start to do a decent amount of volume, look into getting a prep center. Go check out someone like All Things Prep. There are loads of prep centers out there, but obviously it's just the one that I use, so I definitely recommend them. And from there, they'll take care of all of that physical side of the business, and you are then free to do as I do, where I just kind of travel about all the time and don't really try and stay in the UK too long, because I don't really have to. I don't have to be around to accept deliveries anymore and pack all those units. you know, thankfully. Level 4, cash flow. Managing your capital is absolutely critical with Amazon. If you run out of cash, it's game over. Amazon is super capital intensive. It's all about how much money can you plow into the business to buy more stock, to sell more stock, and rinse and repeat. You could definitely start Amazon FBA with just like £1,000, but the more you're able to put in at the start, the quicker you're going to be able to level up. Ideally, all the inventory that you're buying, you want to flip within a month or so. And in general, I'd say it's pretty reasonable to expect on average about a 10% gain on your total amount of capital every month. So it's by no means a get rich quick scheme, you know, it's a get rich slow scheme. But 10% a month, compounding as well, you know, go look up a compound interest calculator and check how much that can make you over the period of like a year or two. And then also play about with how much money you actually put in at the start of the business and see how that affects the numbers. Because honestly, like, it's crazy how much you can make with Amazon FBA if you just stick with it long enough and don't go crazy spending your profits and just keep it all compounding within the business. Now, credit cards and loans are a big thing in the Amazon FBA community. I myself have multiple credit cards, all maxed out. Now, the following is not financial advice, but you can get personal credit cards with 0% interest for usually they're about 20 months, so nearing on 2 years, where you can max out your entire credit card limit. Maybe you get a 10K credit card limit, you max out that entire amount on stock, and you don't have to pay anything back except those minimum payments until you're in month 19, and then you pay it off in full, and then you accrue no interest at all on those credit cards, and you've basically just got a free loan for a couple years. Now again, not financial advice, but I myself have 3 of these cards totaling about £30,000, and that is just free money as far as I'm concerned. In a year and a half or whenever it is that I have to pay them back, I'll just pay it all off in full and get no interest. But for now, completely free money. And in that time, over those 20 months, I'd say from that £30,000, I reckon I can make at least 60,000, possibly even more. You know, I'll pay back the 30, keep the 60 for myself. That's a free £60,000 over 20 months. It's a no-brainer, really. Now, obviously, you really do need to handle your debts accordingly. You know, I can't stress this enough. Don't go crazy getting into debt, not knowing what you're doing. You've got to have a real good understanding of this business model and know the difference between a good and a bad deal before you think about any sort of debt. The worst thing you want to do is max out your credit card on loads of awful stocks because you don't really know what you're doing, and then you're just stuck with it, or, you know, it's not a situation you want to get in. Make sure you fully understand it and you've tested it with a bit of your own money before you do anything like that. Business loans are another option as well. I mean, I think the 0% credit card is personally my go-to choice because of the no interest, but I have also taken on business loans before. It's quite common that you get a business loan where you might pay 10% APR over a year, and overall you should definitely be able to beat that interest rate with Amazon FBA as long as you're doing everything right. In fact, Amazon even has an Amazon lending program where they partner up with lenders and you'll literally get loan offers in your own dashboard. I myself was offered an absolutely huge offer the other week. I was offered a £230,000 loan through Amazon Seller Central just on my dashboard, but the interest rate was a little bit high, so I think I'm going to pass on that for now. But overall, even if you're not comfortable with loans or credit cards or anything like that, the best thing that you can do is just keep reinvesting your profits. You don't want to fall into shiny object syndrome where you just go and buy a flashy watch, flashy car, anything like that in your first year of trading. Reinvest all your profits, keep it all turning around in the business, and that way you're going to be able to grow that capital super quick. The way that I see it now is every pound that I take out the business now is costing me £2, £3, £4 in the future from when I'm eventually going to be able to flip that over and make some money with it. So now I do not want to take any money at all out of the business. Level 5. Scaling. Now, the final level to your Amazon FBA business is getting to a point like my own business where you've scaled and outsourced all of the menial tasks and you just don't really have to do very much. Now, to conquer this level, there are 3 key components to outsourcing. You want to outsource your prep first of all, like with all things prep that I mentioned earlier in the video, and you also want to outsource your sourcing and your admin. Now, these can be done through virtual assistants. Now, I won't obviously go into too much detail about the prep. I've already explained it, so you guys know about that. The virtual assistants are some amazing people that you can hire for your Amazon FBA business. Now, these are remote staff that are usually based in the Philippines, and they will be able to assist you with all of your admin tasks as well as the actual sourcing of products. It really is just hiring employees for your company to carry out the tasks that you no longer want to do. I myself have 2 admin VAs and I also have 2 sourcing VAs. So I've got 2 people that are constantly scouring the internet 40 hours a week trying to find me good, profitable products to sell. And all I have to do is just check my spreadsheet at the end of the day, see what they found, if anything,
and just buy the good stuff and reject the bad stuff. Now, obviously, you do need to really understand your deal analysis. You know, your VA will be able to kind of understand the deal analysis themselves and give you the profitable products, but you always have that final say on things, and it's always good that you fully understand what you're looking at so you avoid making a bad purchase, because they're only human at the end of the day. You know, they're not perfect. They're going to miss some things that you might pick up later. As for admin, I have my admin VA team handling absolutely everything from sorting customer returns to chasing up lost inventory with Amazon to requesting invoices from my suppliers. They do it all. And without my lovely VA team, there is no way I could live the life I live, where I'm just kind of jetting off all the time and not really spending too much time actually running the Amazon FBA business. You know, I've said in other videos that I only work for a couple hours a day on the actual Amazon FBA store that I run, and it's true, because there just isn't a whole lot for me to do. I check the deals, I just buy everything that I think is good, reject the bad stuff, and just generally oversee everything. You know, maybe there's a couple returns they want further clarification on whether it should be sold as used or disposed of, something like that. But for the most part, they just kind of do their own thing. Realised it's just been getting progressively darker as I've been filming this video, so I've turned another light on, which should hopefully improve the viewing experience. But yeah, as I was saying, if you do want to hire a VA, I'm partnered with a wonderful agency called Amazon Trading Hub. There'll be a link on screen now to go and check them out. Go chat to them, and they will be able to pair you up with an admin VA or a sourcing VA, whatever you're interested in. Obviously, they do charge a training fee to train up those VAs, but as soon as you hire them, they're going to be ready and knowing exactly what to do and exactly how to source. So straight away, they will be able to kind of assist you with your business. Now, there is another level of scaling that I actually haven't talked about before on a lot of videos, and that is the art of just buying more stuff. It seems maybe too simple to be true, but the easiest way to scale is just buy more of a product. If you're gonna buy 5 of them and you're keen to scale and you've got a little bit more capital, just buy 10 of them. Now, I started doing this about a year or so ago, maybe even longer than that, to be fair. I just said to myself, I'm gonna start doing something where I will estimate the amount of products that I wanna buy, or the amount of units for any product, and I'll just buy more. I'll just buy 2 or 3 times more than I usually would have. And my sane brain would tell me, oh, just buy 10 of these, just buy 10, you won't sell more than 10. And I just buy 20 or 30. And it's worked surprisingly well. You know, you just buy more stock. I mean, it sounds ridiculously easy, because it kind of is. You just buy more of something and you'll sell more of something. It might take you a little bit longer, but if you found a really good product, there's no reason you shouldn't go a little bit deep on it. Now, I'm sure there are some Amazon arbitrage sellers watching this right now thinking, easier said than done, Felix. The websites I order from only allow me to buy a couple units at a time. There's no way I can just buy 30 of something, because I'm simply not allowed to according to the website. Now, don't worry, I've had this problem and I have a solution for you guys. So I've been using something called Go Login. Essentially, it is a browser application type thing which will allow you to create profiles for your browsing. Essentially, you'll be able to create a unique browser fingerprint for every order that you do. So I'm going to just show you how I actually use this software, because it's really simple and also really affordable at the same time. On the screen now, you should be able to see my Go Login browser. So to get started, we just want to add a new profile. We'll just call this something like Argos order. All you got to do is open a new browser profile. You go to your country here, so we'll select United Kingdom. You want to select a residential proxy. So essentially what this means is your network traffic, rather than going through your own router and appearing like it's going from your router, it will now go through someone else in the UK's, and it will appear like a completely different person making that order. We'll just hit create profile. Now this will then create a brand new browser profile. It says that I'm using a different browser, it's changed my IP address, it's changed everything. So yeah, simple as that. We create a profile, we'll just hit run on this. It will now open up a new browser window. So now all we have to do is head over to the retailer's website. So we'll go and look at argos.co.uk. We can now place our order through Argos, and they are none the wiser. They're not going to be able to kind of detect that I'm placing lots and lots of different orders. They're not going to be able to cancel it or anything like that, because as far as they're concerned, I'm a new person for every single order. So in truth, I have actually been using Go Login quite a while now, and I was actually planning on not even releasing a YouTube video and just kind of keeping this one behind the scenes, but I thought I'd share a little bit of secret sauce on this channel to give you guys a taster of all the kind of stuff that I have in my mentorship program. You know, I'm just doing arbitrage differently. There are so many arbitrage sellers that have such a one-dimensional view on this business model and aren't thinking of out of the box ways to get as much stock and as much good deals as they possibly can. There'll be a link on screen now and in the video description to go and check out Go Login, and I've also partnered up with them to get a little bit of a coupon code so you guys will get a small discount on your plan. So there you have it. Amazon FBA online arbitrage is so easy when you stop seeing it like a job and start treating it a bit like a video game. Every level has strategies, power-ups and boss fights, and if you want me to walk you through every single level and help you max out your stats as fast as possible, head down to the video description, click that link at the top to book in a one-to-one call with me where I'm going to personally explain to you what I do and kind of get up to speed with where you're at with your Amazon FBA business. So in my 6-month-long Amazon mentorship program, I'm going to be helping you build and scale your Amazon FBA business, and as part of that you'll get access to 6 hours of videos from me, one-to-one sessions, group coaching sessions, and also access to a leads channel where I'm going to be sharing all of my proven winning products directly from my own deal sheet.